All right, so I have to do this video, this episode of B Sharp and C about Fiona Apple's song "Slow Like Honey." For a lot of reasons, I'm gonna start the song and then we'll get into it. It seems very simple, and that's the beauty of Fiona Apple is that she's got a lot locked inside that mind of hers, and it's not just great lyrics and funny responses. If you watch her interviews, she's actually gets some pretty funny replies to people. Um, so it's more than quick wit and great lyrics. She's really adept at chord voicings. You know, after she took piano lessons for a while and then started going on her own with music, she learned from the fake book, a gigantic jazz standard book this size. And she figured, all right, I don't need to play like Herbie Hancock, but I like these chord voicings, and it shows in her songs. And she's overlooked as someone who has incredibly jazzy and complicated chord voicings. I mean, you can hear it in her music. When you listen to her music, you can hear that things are just different. But it's sometimes hard to pinpoint, you know. And it's interesting because it's really G minor 7 to C minor 7, but arranged and inverted in ways that you hear the minor 7, you hear the 7 at different points throughout the chord progression, but she does that with everything she does. She uses both of these hands to get the craziest chord voicings and inversions done, and she's got a very adept way of playing the bass and then allowing the melody to come back and then hit the bass again. She does it in a lot of her songs. Shadow Boxer, incredibly difficult for me to play because of the way she alternates between left hand and right hand that I am just not used to doing, you know? Let me put the song on and you'll see what I mean about the chord voicings.
You move like honey in my dream last night. Yeah, some old fires were burning. You came near to me, and you endeared to me. But you couldn't quite discern me. Does that scare you? Let you run away? But your heart will not oblige you. You remember me like a melody. Yeah, the world inside you. And my big secret, gonna win you over. Slow like honey, heavy with moon. I'll let you see me.
All right, just so you know, I put this song on for about 5 minutes before I started making this video and just kind of went over the chord voicings. Um, it's every chord. There are no triads There are no triads. And I think that that's something you've got to take that into consideration. That is what makes Fiona Apple sound the way she sounds. It's so big and so impactful is that she's adding all these extra voicings. There's no such thing as it's not it's not G minor to C minor and that's it, right? So it's she plays the G minor, but then so it's weird the way she goes about it because she plays the G bass and then plays the G minor 7 chord, but then does that and then goes right to the C bass. Plays the C triad, but then adds the flat 7 in that part. That's what I gather is what she's doing. So she plays the C triad and then the C minor 7 before she goes back to the G bass. But then, so then after that, it's playing the C, playing the G minor 7 with the right hand. So you have the F as the flat 7, and she goes into the bass with that. So it's. And then she goes to like E minor, but it's really like an E minor flat 5th to E flat, and then and it's like E flat 7, and then she goes to C major 7, and you hear that's the natural 7, that is the major 7, so it's C major 7, so it's an F dominant 7, and then so this is the G major 7, and then B flat suspended 4th, right? I mean, I'm getting lost. I can't even, I need to sit down, take the notes, go over it again and make sure and play everything. And then, of course, once I learn the song, if I'm learning the song, I can take liberties and say, well, okay, I don't even need to play that chord right there. But like in some cases you have to. Like major 7s usually ring out. If you don't play that note, you're doing the song a disservice. Same thing with G major 7. If you don't play that F sharp, you're doing the song a disservice. You know? So it's one of those things that like some extended chords with weird voicings you don't always need to do. Some you do it a disservice. I find if you have a major 7 chord and you just don't play it, but you play just the major chord, a lot of times artists will make that natural 7 note ring out. And you hear it in a lot of songs. So if you don't do it, people are going to know he's not playing that chord, whatever chord that was. They don't have to know it's a major 7 chord. They just have to know you're not playing that chord. Okay, so here we are. It took me 5 minutes just to explain all of that. Didn't even talk about her amazing lyrics, didn't talk about her amazing way of singing. Just the insanely complex way she puts her chords together, and she's not playing them fast. That's the magic of Fiona Apple. She's like a Richard Wright. She does all these chord voicings that add so much depth and flavor to a song, but doesn't need to play it fast. Quite honestly, playing it slower allows the notes to ring out longer, right? So let's just go back.
Covet your regard. I'll invade your demeanor.
You hear that Major seven chord.
feel to me like a scent in the breeze, and you wonder what it is about me. It's my big secret,
I love her voice.
keeping you coming, slow like honey, heavy with moon. I, though dreams can be deceiving, like faces are to hearts, they serve for sweet relieving.
Oof.
When fantasy and reality lie too far apart,
And then
so I stretch myself across like a bridge, and I pull you to the edge. Stand there waiting,
oh, I love the instrumentation.
trying to attain the end to satisfy the story. Shall I release you? Must I release you as I rise to meet my glory?
As I rise. So she's saying rise, but she's rising in her voice. It's a nice um it's a nice way to arrange your song. You know, like when you sing the word loud, you can sing it louder. When you sing the word whisper, you can almost whisper it, you know, things like that. There are times in songs when someone says, let's slow down, and then the whole band slows down. The song goes from 120 beats per minute to 110 beats per minute, just for that little. People do that in music. And it's nice when you catch it. She's saying rise, and she's rising her voice.
Secret, gonna hover over your life, gonna keep you reaching when I'm gone like yesterday, when I'm high like heaven, when I'm strong like music, 'cause I'm slow like honey and heavy with
So good. So good. Wow. So the genre they put this in. So I'm at Wikipedia right now. The genre they put this in: chamber pop, jazz pop, alternative pop. God, I disagree with all of that. All of that. That's so funny. Andrew Slater was the producer of that album. You know, I have to admit, she did get lucky. She caught lightning in a bottle because she found a producer and she got um, set up with musicians who understood what she was doing musically. And then the instrumentation that is in her music, I think, fits what she was doing perfectly. all those different instruments and just so much going on that you don't hear in other albums. And then even the way that it was engineered. I mean, you had the drum kit was heavy to the left, and a lot of other instrumentation was heavy to the left. The piano was heavy to the right, whereas her vocal track was very much up the middle, but kind of up front, like in your face almost. Um, Let me just Google something here. I'm curious what AI says. What genre is Fiona Apple? Alternative indie? God. Fiona Apple, born September 13th, 1977 in New York City. Fiona Apple's music blends several genres, primarily rooted in alternative rock and jazz pop, with a heavy emphasis on singer, songwriter, and art pop styles. I mean, those are just words. Her work also incorporates elements of Baroque pop, piano rock, and experimental rock, making her sound unique and difficult to categorize into a single genre. What is the meaning of Baroque? Relating to or denoting a style of European architecture, music, and art of the 17th and 18th centuries that followed Mannerism and is characterized by ornate detail. In architecture, the period is exemplified by the Palace of Versailles and by the work of Bernini in Italy. Major composers include Vivaldi, Bach, and Handel. What is Baroque music? Music that is not fixed. It's Baroque. Baroque music is a style of Western classical music that was popular from approximately 1600 to 1750, characterized by its ornate and dramatic spirit, grand energy, and complex ornamentation. Right? We're talking about music, right? It is known for developing new forms like the opera, concerto, sonata, and for its use of counterpoint, multiple independent melodies played at once. Okay, with prominent composers. So I think that is what puts Fiona Apple into that type of style. That I can see. The jazz pop, I mean, yeah, I know what they're saying. It's like a jazz fusion, kind of like Steely Dan was jazz rock. Like I get that. If you have to give it a name, if you have to classify it, it's hard to classify things that are hard to classify because then when you do, 90% of the people are going to be like, well, no, you're wrong. But I like this. It's known for its counterpoint and multiple independent melodies played at once. You get a lot of that going on with a Fiona Apple song. You get like what sounds like a glockenspiel playing in one ear while she's doing something with the piano, in the right ear. And then there's some hurdy-gurdy sounding instrument going on also in the background. And they are playing melodies. They're not always just playing chord accompaniment, but it's melodic accompaniment. So it is independent melodies being played at once. So I can see that Baroque style. I think whoever came up with that is actually right on point. But you can do something like that when you have the chord voicings that Fiona Apple has, and when you hold down the chords. When you lay into the chord voicings, it lends itself to odd melodic structure, and that works when you do that. So I don't know, but all this, I want to tell you something about myself. When this album came out in 1996, I was my bed broke. My bed was broken. Only because, I mean, I'm not even joking you. I would wrestle on it. Um, I hid so many things under it that cleaning it out, I think I like broke one of the supporting legs, and the bed was just broken, and I couldn't sleep on it. And my mother was like, "Well, learn your lesson. Either buy a new bed or sleep on the floor." So I slept on the floor for about a year. Okay, I slept on the floor for about a year and had my CD player like on a chair above me with this album in it, and I would play it and put it on repeat every night And I listened to this album over and over again. I think it's the only album I've ever done that with. And I would dream of Fiona Apple. I would dream that I was in New York City on a cloudy night with the moon hiding behind the clouds, and that she and I were collaborating on music. Nothing, nothing dirty, nothing what you think. We were literally collaborating on that. Was my dream of Fiona Apple, that I was able to tap into her mind and sit down with her and be like, hey, what do you think of these chord changes? That was, and I was young. I just graduated high school. That was my dream of Fiona Apple. She was a beautiful 19-year-old, and here I was just 1 year older. And my dream of Fiona Apple was, take a seat there, sister. All right, the G minor 7 chord in your song, Slow Like Honey. That was my dream. I mean, that was it, because I loved so much what she was doing musically. I connected. And for a while, I became discouraged. Like, well, I don't need to write music now because this girl has written everything that I want to write, and then I had to just kind of get over it and be like, well, go back to the drawing board and write your music. Everyone has music inside of them. But that's how much this album impacted me. This album impacted me so much that I haven't listened much to her other albums. And I feel bad. And recently I have been listening to it. I went back and I went to some live shows, and I'm like, man, she's just as good. It's just that this album has such an emotional impact on me, you know? But the other stuff is really good, even though I still will always favor this album. Anyways, I don't know. Now I'm getting weird. But this is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And you be sure to keep it groovy.